I've been wanting to work on this radio for a while. I've actually ordered parts for it a long time ago. This is a 1946 Zenith farm radio. It's a 4K035, 4 tubes. Let's see, what's the tube complement? The 1A7 GT converter, the 1N5 GT IF amp, and the 1H5 GT detector / amp, and then the power amplifier. The audio tube is IC5 or 1C5 GT. Of course, this was a farm radio, which means it ran on dry cell, which I believe it's 1.5 volt for the filament voltage and 90 volt for the B+. And so if you'll notice, there is no plastic faceplate or anything like this. The tuning, the dial cord must be off. And if you'll notice this right here, with the farm radios, they didn't necessarily have dial lights or indicators or anything like that. But the way they indicated that they were on is a little red dot would appear in there. So let's turn this around. You can see a little crackage there. Looks like kind of weather over the years. Let's see, this is the antenna line, which is rotted. And this is the battery cable, and it plugged in and supplied, and there was a battery pack here in the back. So in order to do this, I had ordered a kit, an A and B battery eliminator from BDEK. That's Bob and Doug. Everybody knows Bob. Electronic kits. And I've had this almost 2 years. And I actually had to reach out to Bob to get the instructions. I lost the instructions. It's pretty straightforward, and we'll go through this. So we're going to have to build the board before we can even go on with this. So I'll include a little bit of the video of the board. But this is, it's been a while since, I don't know that I've ever built a farm or rebuilt or restored a farm radio. So this will be fun. This will be something different. And maybe that'll keep me off the streets, perhaps. But I've ordered from this place, and I've had this a while, and I'm not even sure if Mark still does this down in Lilburn, Georgia, Retro Radio Repair. He does reproduction dial covers. I've ordered several from him, and this is inside. This is the plastic cover that goes inside there. So I've had that a while too. Board is together. Went together really well. Good instructions, real clear instructions. I did end up with an extra resistor, and I've got a word in to Bob. Everybody knows Bob. And see if that was just there's a mod or something that I didn't get, because this is the prototype. Well, not the prototype, but it was one of the first, I believe, first ones made. There was only a very limited amount went out. But this is the 1.5 volt. There you go, 1.529. Of course, this is unloaded. And here's the 90 volt. That's 92 volts. And so that's unloaded also. So that's the 2 voltages we were shooting for. Okay, I'm ready to take it out of the cabinet. I've done tried to pull these knobs off, and they don't want to come off. So what I hope to do is I'm going to take the screws out of the bottom, push it as far forward as I possibly can, and maybe get some spray there's no set screws on it. There's just, it looks like a D shaft on there. So it's probably just kind of rusted on there. So I'm hoping to get some WD-40 or something behind there and pull it off. So I'm going to remove the screws and pull the chassis forward. Well, when I removed the screws, there was only one good screw, and then there was another one with a real small head on it. It was pulling through the hole. So that's a self-tapping screw. So this one was just keeping it from flopping around. So when I was able to pull this forward, I was able to get my fingers more in there and pull them off. And if you'll see, it's got a metal ring and kind of a brass looking. This one is almost off, and this one was already off. It was loose. But if you'll look, you can see that the knob is kind of deformed. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm not really sure what we can do. I don't think we can heat that. I'm thinking maybe we can just file it down. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. All right, let's flip this around and get the radio out and see what's in it. And you're seeing it first time. All right. Looks like we've got a speaker that plugs in there. So we can take that out. That's all good. And this should just slide right out now, right? Right. Let's see what we can see down in here. A nice looking speaker. Got a hole down in there. Looked like somebody's put a finger through it from the back side. Huh. We may be able to repair that. We will see. Looks like a permanent magnet. It is permanent magnet speaker. So a little cleanup. Looks like on the bottom is the nomenclature, tube layout. All right, let's get this out of the way. And I'll reposition the camera and we'll turn this over. I will not turn it over till I put the camera on it, so you're seeing it as I see it. And like we thought, the dial cord is broken. We'll have to see if we can figure out, look up how the dial cord is wound. These were already off. This is loose, but I think this can be sprung a little bit and make that tighter, like that. So here we go. We're going to turn it over and look. Let's do it this way. We'll keep that face off everything. All right. I don't see anything that anybody has done. All this looks, that's a Zenith original. I believe this is all original. So what do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 caps. Recap it and apply some power to it. In the meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'll look and see. This looks pretty straightforward. The face has to come off to rewind it because it's all from the front. So we will have to push these. Well, first we'll have to get this off. This indicator should just pull off. No, it don't. Yeah, it does. But anyway, that just pulls off. That's nice. That can be, I think that can be shined up a little bit. It'll be nice. Then these just push out, these little rivet type things. What I find you can do sometimes is get under them. Be careful with this. Let's push them from the back. Let's take a pencil eraser and push them. See if that. Kind of have to be squeezed, I think. Yep, if I were to show you and there's one of them out. Let me get the rest of these out. It was a combination of using a real thin screwdriver, getting under the edge of it and prying it out, and then using these little nippers to get kind of behind it and pull it. Not really prying, but pulling it. That's cardboard. Kind of a foil type thing. I'm thinking that around here somewhere is a I bet this is reproduced somewhere. Anyway, that there's some sort of seal around this. We'll have to explore that, but you can see now that this probably went this way. I have a place where I might be able to find this information of how this is wound. So we may have to pull this whole thing off. Oh, this is the spring here for the on-off switch. Flips up. There's a spring there that pulls it. There you go. It's a little lever. Okay, we'll get this figured out, and I think all this comes off. How does this come off now? Looks like a screw here, a screw here, maybe a screw under the bottom, and we'll leave that brace on there, and a screw here, and that should come off. Move that capacitor, which is an original Zenith. I begin to think this is all original, but there was a 1/4 inch. Is that 1/4? Yeah. hand in the way as always, right? Yeah, it's got a flat head. Let's turn it this way. Maybe you can. There you go. I thought that was a quarter. Maybe it wasn't. It's a shallow one, real shallow. Very few parts in this thing, right? All right, so that takes care of this brace behind here. This brace, that's always good. This brace here, and then let's see, and then we take our. Now the other thing, let's leave this until last because it looks like this is attached to this, so it may have to come off as a unit. So we'll see. Yeah, one of the things about filming this stuff is sometimes you get all carried away and the camera may be over here and you're working over here. So, all right, this is looking, I think it all comes off in one piece. I don't think it's attached. Ta-da! Look at that. Well, there's a grid cap in front of that. I'm sure I did that. Let's take a look at this. All this is as we can look and see here, there's a notch in this collar, and then when you turn it on, it allows that to go up and indicate that it's on. See what I'm talking about? And let's see. See if that's will go through there. It will. So now that's been broke before. Look at the almost look like a, what is that? That is some sort of, look like a little grommet. Two grommets. We'll have to figure out how that all attaches. Anyway, I went ahead and it does have a electrolytic capacitor. It was an 8 microfarad on the schematic, and let's see, I will show that to you. And I went ahead and changed that. It's right here. It's says it's C7 and it's 8 microfarad. And so I went ahead and changed that and thought, well, I may go ahead and try to power it up after I've changed this. But then when I get to looking at the power cables, they're brittle, and this year, or this era of radios have typically rubber wires, so some of these may have to be changed, and this is super brittle and cracking, and it's tied in a knot. I went ahead and labeled them, traced them out, labeled them, and marked them, and I'm going to go in here and replace these wires. This is to the filaments, and this is also to the B+. So I'm going to replace those wires before we go any further. I took the tubes, cleaned them up, and tested them, and they all tested good. The power wires were just breaking and cracking, as you can see. That one is ground, so you know, it's not going to ground out, but it could get against something that's hot in there. So what I did is I ran modern wire, color code, just like they said. They're coming out. I removed this plug. Now what I may do is take this plug, put it in a bag, put it in the radio, and leave it with the radio so that the legacy part will be with the radio. That is in case we get it going, which I believe we will. And here's another tip, guys. When you're putting the wires, when I was putting the wires in, I ran into a 2.2 meg out of tolerance, so I didn't have a 2.2, so I put two 1 megs in there, and that's pretty close. And anytime that you're at a junction that you're having to desolder or replace a part in, go ahead and check the parts from that junction and go ahead and change those out while you're there. It becomes a pyramid when you hit like this in a lot of cases, but you know, well, that keeps you from having to go back and heat that joint up again. And while I was there, I replaced this capacitor and this capacitor, and I went ahead and put a 10 microfarad in the place of that 8 microfarad. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more capacitors, which I've already got laid out over here to do. Actually, since this, we've got a coupling capacitor here and that electrolytic, I feel pretty good we could probably start it up and it would probably be okay. Don't know. But while I'm here, I might as well just go ahead and replace the rest of them and then bring it all up at once. I've got this recapped. Already told you about wiring the power supply in. Recapped it, replaced this 2.2 meg. I put 2 megs in parallel or in series. Checked the rest of them. They're all within tolerance. Replaced all the capacitors. I got over to here. This is the antenna and the ground wire, and look, it had clamps on it, which is fairly nice. And so I replaced it, color code, same as it was. Came into here. When I got into here, I found that on the oscillator coil, the wire was super brittle, and so I replaced it also. Checked the DC resistance on the oscillator coil and the antenna coil, and it was good. I'm going to check it again since I've had to do some heating of it to solder it and everything like that. And I'm about ready to, I think, put power on it. But I'm going to go back and check the coils to make sure I haven't, you know, damaged those in any way. And that's about it. It's pretty simple radio. And so let me do my checks, and then when we come back, we may try to put some power on this. I have put the tubes in. I have connected an antenna. I have wired up the, I took the speaker out of the cabinet. I'm going to have to do some patching on it. I've connected the power supply and applied voltage to it. I'm now going to check the 1.5 volts. Now the radio is not turned on, so there's 1.5, and then we're going to check the 90 volts or so, and there is 92 volts. So I'm going to turn on the radio and we'll see what happens. I hear noise. Needs a ground. What about that? We have a working radio already. I don't know how many stations we can. Let me get a knob. Let me come back with a knob. Okay, I've attached a ground, not a real good one, but a ground, and put some knobs on it. So up on the high end of the band. Probably needs a good alignment. What do you think? There's another station on the high end of the band. Probably can't hear it. Sounds like maybe it's getting dark, so I guess it's some skip coming in, which we and it probably would sound better after I patch that speaker a little bit. And I think we can go down here. Seems like there's one down here. Of course, there's a lot of noise. Sometimes the light causes it. All right. Well, I think this first video is a success. We've got a working radio, and so we've still got some more work to do. We've got to basically clean it up a little bit and patch that speaker, work on the cabinet a little bit. So we still have a little bit more to go, but let's see. We've built a battery eliminator by Doug and Bob's Electronic Kits. Everybody knows Bob. And done some rewiring, recapping, checked the tubes. I think this has been a success. So we're going to end part one here, and we'll come back a little later and do some more work, spiffy it up a little bit, do an alignment, work on the cabinet. Like we're still in the summer, so the cabinet refinish may have to wait a little while on there, but we can go a little further. So I appreciate everybody that has been watching my videos and my subscribers and the comments. I love the comments. And so if you like it, click that like button so other folks can get to see it also. But this is a 1946 Zenith 4K035 farm radio that we've got it playing. So we've got some more work to do on it, but we'll do that in the next part. So from Larry from the hills of Tennessee, thanks for watching.